Hey everybody. So when you're looking at postbellum America, there's many things that and phenomenons that pop up in this time period of American history. One that is might not have thought about as much is the invention of Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola was invented by John Stith Pemberton of Columbus, Georgia. He served in the Confederate Army where he received a saber wound during the Battle of Columbus, which he received to his chest, and he quickly became addicted to morphine in order to ease his pain. In the late 1860s, he used his pharmacy to experiment on different painkillers to serve as a morphine-free alternative. And it was here where we actually start to see him coming up with some of the original formulas of what we know now as Coca-Cola. Now, his original formula was called Dr. Tuggle's compound syrup of globe power, where the active ingredient came from the bottom bush, which was a toxic plant, which I'm not sure how much is used today, but that was part of the original formula. And soon he began to experiment with coca and coca wines, eventually making a formula that used cola nut and damania, which he called Pemberton's French wine coca. So this was a more alcoholic version compared to what the formula we know now, and it quickly became popular among the post-war South, especially among former Civil War veterans who were battling with depression, alcoholism, and drug addiction, and the product was advertised as a medicine. So we have this alcoholic wine version of Coca-Cola that is used as a medicine rather than just a regular soft drink at this time. And a reporter, it did have good effects on those who were starting to use it, and a reporter from the Atlanta Journal commented on it, noting how its effects helped with assisting in digestion, imparting energy to organs of respiration, and it strengthened the muscular and nervous systems within the human body. Now, much like a lot of other parts in American history, this is where we start to see the rise of prohibition and prohibition movements, especially among various church groups and youth groups around the country who are calling for more temperance and prohibition acts in the larger brewery movements. In 1885, Atlanta started to pass its first prohibition laws, and Pemberton started to make a non-alcoholic version when all the breweries and wineries were being shut down in the areas around Atlanta. Now, the way he came up with the formula we know now was he accidentally mixed the base syrup, which he was using in his original French wine coca, with carbonated water, and it soon became a really good mixture for him, and he started to sell the new product as a fountain drink instead of a medicine, and he renamed it to Coca-Cola after adding a substance which we know as cocaine to the formula. And he soon began to spread it to larger markets around the state of Georgia and eventually around some other parts of the South, where he emerged it as the Coca-Cola Company. Now, like many other entrepreneurs, Pemberton did fall on hard times. By 1888, his expensive morphine addiction brought him near the ill health and to the brink of bankruptcy, to the point where he started to sell off the rights of his formula to his various business partners in the Atlanta region. And it wasn't until in late 1888 where Pemberton sold the Coca-Cola Company to Asa Griggs Candler for a mere $300, which is equivalent to around $9,400 today. Now, it was Candler who was able to expand the Coca-Cola Company into a national franchise, and he was able to expand it to Atlanta markets in the early 20th century, where they quickly were able to turn it into the national phenomenon we know now, along with selling it into international markets later in the 20th century. So there's a little entrepreneur history of the Coca-Cola franchise, and a matter of fighting back addictions with morphine, and bringing bringing the main founder out of bankruptcy later on in the later half of the 19th century. So it's truly fascinating to see how a great global franchise will come out of someone who was originally fighting to find a alternative version of painkillers. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you have a great day.